Hey guys, Sean with Biz Magazine. I'm the editor and publisher. Biz is Shreveport's and Bosier's and Minden's uh, business news source. And I'm here today to talk to Kedma Ough. Hey Kedma.
Hello.
And Kedma is a nationally recognized business development and funding expert, an entrepreneurship thought leader, and an award-winning champion of small business. She's also the author of Target Funding, a guide to finding opportunities for your business. Thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you.
And the reason we're talking today is you're actually going to be here in Shreveport fairly soon.
Yes, I'm so excited. First time coming. So I'm looking forward to just meeting great people and just understanding your community better.
And she's going to be the keynote speaker at the Tech to Market event, which we are a proud partner of. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, let's talk about your book, Target Funding. It seems to me that you developed your system the hard way, which is through experience. Can you tell me how you developed your proven system for Target Funding?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to just show you a quick cover. There it is.
Yeah, plug it. Let's get it.
Yeah, so one of the things I teach my clients, because I've worked with over 10,000 entrepreneurs over the last 20 years, 10,000, think about that.
Crazy.
And so a lot of times when we're looking at new ideas, new concepts, especially with tech to market, they say, well, what's the best way to prove it? And I go, if possible, it's to go through the experience. If you're developing a new food product, actually taste it. If you're, going through a new change in uniform, actually wear it. So for me, this is my product. And the way I learned it the hard way was because in 2001, I had to file for bankruptcy. So I want to pause, because as soon as I say that, the audience is like, oh my God, she filed for bankruptcy? Guys, people who file for bankruptcy does not mean, or they don't mean that they are not financially savvy. It's usually a crisis, right? Like job crisis, a business crisis, a health crisis, a relationship crisis. So I found myself in that predicament, 2001. And I thought, what am I going to do? So I remember going back to my apartment. 2 weeks later, I received a credit card from Capital One for $200, which may not be a big deal for you, Sean. But for me, I was like, $200? Why are they sending me $200 after filing bankruptcy? And then I remembered. Now, this is crazy, but I remembered when I was a little girl, I used to play the board game Monopoly. And when you would play the game and pass go, you would collect
$200.
$200, right? So this was the universe's way of bringing me back in to play the game. And so then I went on a 15-year journey to uncover every fund and every resource that may be available for people in my situation. And so the book is really centered around how do you scale your business, your product, your idea, if you're not bankable. Now, if you're bankable, fantastic. I developed Target Funding.
Yeah. I don't want to give it all away for free. Obviously, we want people to buy the book.
Yeah.
Where can they get the book?
So of course they're going to be able to get it at the event. So we want people there. And if they get it there, I'm going to sign it.
Oh.
Of course. Yeah. I love working and meeting people and going over it. Certainly there's we're doing a lot on Amazon. That's another way. And your local bookstore. In fact, I just got a response on LinkedIn. Someone in Singapore sent me a picture and they're like, it's in my local bookstore. So, but what's really important is, and this is all honesty, Sean, I say this to my clients. If I would have met you in 2001, Sean, and I would have said to you, okay, Sean, here's the deal. I'm going to go on a journey to discover every fund and every resource that you can tap into. And for every year that I work on your behalf, you have to pay me $3. And after 18 years, I'm going to come back and collect that, right? So 18 times 3, right?
Yeah.
It's
$50 bucks, a little over $50.
Maybe $50, right? So the book is 25. So it's like the cheapest way to get all my knowledge and all my secrets, because that is what I literally did. I went on a journey and then I threw everything in the book so that other people could win.
And speaking of secrets, I don't want you to reveal, the magician never reveals his secrets, but
right.
What's one tip you can offer a startup right now, today?
I'm going to tell you, because I love telling my secrets, because if you tell your secrets, people win. The number one thing I want to offer them is that the way you crack the funding code is so similar to the way you crack when you're doing a patent search, which we're going to talk about at the keynote. whenever you're doing a patent search, you have to look at keywords, right? You have to go on, whether it's Google Patent or the US Patent Office or another secret site I want to share only at the event. But you're looking at keywords so you can get closer to whether or not other people have potential patents in that space. That's how I do target funding. I'm looking at the keywords. So if you come to me, depending on your variables, and you say, I'm a woman-owned business and I'm in, let's say, Dallas, Texas, and I'm thinking about tech and education, those are keywords. We would have to look at women plus tech plus Dallas plus maybe a particular kind of grant to source that. And so that is literally what we did. And then we threw about 300 resources in the book alone.
Wow. That's fascinating. I mean, to do that much digging and hunting.
Oh, it's hunting. I'm so glad you said that. It's literally hunting. And I want to say one thing, Sean, because when people get my book, they're like, at first they think, because I do have a very motivational story, first they're like, oh, I can't wait to get the book on audio. I can't wait to hear the inspiration. And then they realize really quickly, it's like a reference manual because I'm teaching you where the money is. And they're like, oh my God, this is so much work. Yeah.
Work's work.
Work's work. Yeah. There's no secret. It's a lot of work to find money. But once you know the pattern and the systems, then anybody can do it. But yeah, it's work.
Yeah. And those patterns and those systems and finding the money.
Yep.
Can you describe what obtaining that money can mean to these entrepreneurs or startups that actually do it?
Well, it's life-changing. So it depends on which one. So when we talk about variables in the chapters of the book, I literally have, I'm going to pull it up so you're going to love this. If there are people, obviously, if you're a woman-owned, there's an entire chapter for women-owned businesses, but you probably can't see this, but I'm going to see if I can. This is our table of contents. There's an entire chapter if you're a veteran. So like veteran funding.
Fantastic.
Yeah. If you are minority, if you are in the LGBTQ community, if you practice a certain faith. But that's only one side. We have a whole side for inventors and funding, research and development and funding. That's where SBIR would be. We have a whole section for just plain grants. So it's a game changer depending on what you're doing. So if we look at someone who's looking at new technology and they need, big grants, we may look at SBIR and see, can we capture $75,000 or $100,000 in grants for feasibility? On the low end, we may look at someone who says, I'm really starting something out. I'm looking at the energy, but I don't need that much. I need 10,000. Well, we may look at a program called the IDA, right? Because that's very specific. So what I will tell you is this, and I say this all the time, Sean, I am so sick and tired of watching ideas end up in the cemetery of dreams.
Right. Yeah.
And the cemetery of dreams is, I have this great idea. I'm trying to do it. I'm spending tons of money when I shouldn't. And now I went broke and nobody benefits.
Right. I mean, it's when they talk about the Boulevard of Broken Dreams, the Green Day song is about, these people who did that very same thing. They went about chasing their dream the wrong way. Or I think there's a lot of people who just get discouraged because it is harder than they think and they give up before they should. Gary Vaynerchuk, I'll never forget him going off on somebody because they started a YouTube channel and after 3 months, they only had 100 followers. Yeah. And he said, man, I did this for years. How dare you? If this is your dream and your passion, how this is your passion, how dare you give up after 3 months?
Yeah.
So I always remember that.
And I'm glad you brought that up because we are in a society where we want to have instant life. It's like we want to put our life in the microwave and get an instant life back. Yeah. And we're like, why don't we have our instant life perfection in like 5 days or 5 weeks or a year? Guys, it took me 18 years and I am an expert. I am nationally recognized. 18 years. I never wavered. Do you know how many times people said no? Do you know how many times I may have challenged myself? Like, can I keep going? My nickname is Turtle because I keep going. Well, because look, at the end of the day in the fable, the turtle wins the race.
Right.
not the hair.
Yeah, well, you're the Olympic athlete of entrepreneurship, because those people dedicate their lives for this one thing, and you took 18 years out of your life
Yeah.
to create this manual, basically.
Right. I created this manual. And also, for anyone listening, please don't think that I was given $1 million or 100,000 or 10,000. I went from broke with a credit score of like about 500 to where I am today with assets and my own business office I own and a career, and my credit score I think is 821. But I followed my system.
Right.
Nobody handed me anything.
Yeah, you walk the talk.
I walked the walk. Yeah. So if you're listening right now and you're like, man, I'm not that broke. Hey, you're ahead of me.
Yeah. They're streets ahead from where you were starting.
You're streets ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations. You're a few steps ahead of me. But it's the attitude. If you want an instant life, I'm not the right gal for you. If you want to work hard and be diligent and get through systems and hustle and look at metrics, I'm the right gal for you.
Well, on that note, talking about you being the right gal for people that are going to get to see you in where we are now, where I am now in Shreveport. So Tech to Market, you're a national speaker. You talked about you have books in Singapore.
Yes.
What made you say, yeah, Shreveport? I'll go to Shreveport and talk.
So one of the things that I'm really, really passionate about is innovation. And I'm really passionate about the idea that no matter how broad we get, no matter how many speaking engagements I do, I am here for the people. I know that sounds crazy, but what I mean by this in simple terms, I get more excited about helping someone raise $10,000 who is struggling, who may be on welfare, who's trying to build a family, than a multimillionaire who wants to make 100 million. That's the bottom line. And I know this, I know that if we build the foundation from the bottom up, everybody wins. So why do I get excited going? Because if there's 100 people in the room and we all level up, how many people will that impact in jobs, in innovation? And I'm all about creating innovation. Innovation does not happen on the moon. It doesn't happen just in NASA. You know where it happens? It happens in everyday society. It happens when you're sitting at home and saying, I need to solve this problem. It happens when you're working with a child who has autism and says, you know what? I need to figure out a better way to drive a solution that's going to support that. So whether it's energy, whether it's healthcare, whether it's business, on the ground, everyday inventors and innovators is what I'm excited about.
Yeah, necessity is the mother of invention. I mean, that's what innovation is invention.
Exactly. The other thing I would tell you, in full disclosure, not everybody is a superhero in this field, flat out. So I want you to make sure when you're hearing people, do your homework. Look at their background. Look at their testimonials. I mean, I sit on a national 501c3 called United Inventors Association, where our mission, and me as a board member, is to drive innovation for independent inventors. So I want you to pay attention, because there's a lot of people in this field that are trying to take advantage of people. And I want to set the record straight that there are good people out there trying to do the right thing to help others.
Yeah, you live your life out loud. I mean, to be honest with you, when I was doing research for this interview, I was like, this is incredibly easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might have answered this question a little bit in the previous question, but what can attendees of the event Tech to Market expect from your keynote?
They're going to expect, and I hope they can expect this, I want them to expect actionable plus motivation plus an interactive experience. So here's a couple of things I love to do. In every event, you will see me. In fact, I just did this at the US Patent Office. Usually I have a team or myself with one person. We hand out index cards because I want the audience to tell me what question they have that they came with that they want me to answer. And right off the cuff, right, within minutes, once I get through my presentation, I'm answering these questions. And I'll tell you why I do it. Number one, if someone is coming to a presentation and all they hear is hype and they don't get their question solved, they're going to be angry. I'm going to be angry. I'm going to be like, why'd you waste my time with some, highfalutin information on a PowerPoint that doesn't relate to me? But when someone gets their question answered specific to their situation on stage, sometimes I bring them on stage. They're like, no, don't bring me on stage.
Panic, pure panic.
Right. Yeah, I love that. But when I answer what the audience really wants, when I answer their real pain points, it's a game changer. Now they're a part of the play. The second thing is that I'm not there to just motivate. I love Tony Robbins. I believe in Tony Robbins, but I'm not get it to work kind of gal. Like, I don't want you to be hyped. I want you to walk away saying, I got 3 things to do in the next 30 days to get me to the next level. So, and then of course the inspiration, because I am a storyteller. So I will bring in different stories so people know that I'm not just saying this. Here's how we put this into plan. Here's cases where this actually worked. So that's what they should expect.
And you're going to plan to do a little bit of a demonstration. Hopefully, maybe one of the attendees can actually walk out of there with some help and funding. Right?
Yes, absolutely. So that's how we do the cards, right? So we can bring 2 or 3 people on stage. I've done that a couple of times. I did that at the Michigan Innovation, and people loved it. And it was, I like to say when I start my presentation, this has not been set up. So I'll say to each person, have we met before? They're like, no, we haven't met before. Fantastic. But what it does is it really allows, now it's not to say I don't know, I don't know everything, but because I've been in this field for so long, it's very rare that I can't provide really key solutions to a situation right on the spot.
Well, let's dip away and let's look a little bit more long term. How can people interact with you, Kedma, outside of Tech to Market?
That's a great question. So there's a couple of ways. First of all, I do presentations all over the country. So if someone's listening and saying, man, I want to bring her in, I love that. Second is we are building a digital course where very affordable for people who are like, I read the book, I don't have the time, I need help, so that we can put them in. And the reason we're not, a lot of speakers, no disrespect to the speaking community, they tend to have a very high level cost to their course, which that's good for them. But for me, the reason we want to have something affordable is twofold. Number one, we're in the funding world. I'm not here to say, oh, buy my book and then buy a $5,000 package, because that goes against my philosophy. And two, I want success stories. So the reason we want them coming into the program is I want to force them to actually do the formula.
It's classroom time.
It's classroom time, right? And I don't know if you know this, but I've been a professor for many years. I was professor at University of Arizona and PSU, and people know if Professor O's on, you're going to do the work or you're going to fail, right? So I do the same thing in business. And then the third thing we're doing is we're building our own target funding database that will allow us to, through the form, allow us to populate a customized target funding plan for each person we work with. So you, Sean, can come. I would look at your variables. I'd look at exactly what you need. I would look at exactly, what your goal is. And then literally within a couple of hours, you would get a comprehensive target funding plan with all the funding resources that you personally need to go after. It's a game changer.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, it literally can change somebody's life.
The answer is absolutely. And it has. I've seen this happen over and over and over again, where people are like, you changed my life. I do want to make one statement for anyone listening. If someone is going to poo-poo and say $10,000 is not a big deal, I want them to go and look at the research. The average Fortune 500 company, when they started out, started with $10,000 or less. So we've got to be really clear here that the idea here is, how do you get in the game? Not, I need all this money right now. And that's part of the things that we teach. how do we get in the game? Because once you start winning money and getting money, you start getting money from other places.
Right. It's success leads to more success. Success.
Absolutely. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Kedma, I want to thank you for joining us today. I look forward to meeting you in person on October 24th at the Remington Hotel and Spa in downtown Shreveport. It starts at 4:30. It ends at 8 p.m. If you want to know how to get tickets, go to my website, and there's a link on there. Kedma, we look forward to talking more in the future. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you soon.
Okay. Thank you.